Hey everyone, welcome back. It's been a long time coming, but it is now time for a garage/workshop update. Now, I'm not here on my own. He's been a little bit shy today, which is unlike him, but you may be able to see a couple of feet poking out the bottom there. We have Fraser hand as usual. Today I'm going to need an extra pair of hands, because I've got a big pile of tools and stuff down there and a brand new workstation to fill. So the plan today is, well, basically just need to wait for the postman to arrive because I bought some shadow foam. We're going to fill these drawers with the shadow foam, cut around all the tools and make it all nice and neat. And speaking of tools, I'll tell you what, I've been a lucky boy because Unior have supplied me with a whole bunch of tools and I'm so excited to build some bikes with some proper equipment for a change. Oh man, won't that be nice? So that is the plan. We're going to fill out the workstation, but before the shadow foam does arrive, let's explain what is this workstation. This workstation is from a brand called Eltec, and I think they're a relatively new brand. I haven't seen too much of them online, but I was searching online for workstations. I saw this brand come up and I had to get in touch. And they were super nice. They gave me a nice discount on this, so I didn't get this for free, but they really helped out. They even helped with things like the custom colours, which is like the grey and white theme, which is kind of what I'm going with in this garage. This layout is kind of a compromise. It's always going to be a compromise in here. A bit like the van, it's so easy just to fill your garage with as much workspace as you can, and suddenly all the space is being taken up and there's no room to do anything else. So I had to be a little bit careful with how I had this laid out. The way I've ended up doing it is, well, firstly I wanted a fairly decent sized workbench. Now this is nice solid wood, so it should last a fairly long time, although annoyingly I have been using this garage a little bit. I've been storing stuff and a frame fell off and has already put a bit of a dent in there, but it is what it is. But if I do wreck this thing, I can just sand it down, reseal it, so this should last a long time. The other thing I really wanted was a gap. So I've got this little mobile unit here, which means if I want to have a chair, I can sit here and work sitting down and have room for my legs. That's something I really wanted. Plus, having a mobile unit means if I'm working on my bike not close to this, I can wheel this out and have this almost as like a separate workstation. So that is really handy. The other things I really wanted was a tall cupboard for, I don't know, tall things, oils, just random stuff that I don't necessarily want out in the open. I really wanted some overhead storage, and these open super nicely so they stay open. Actually pretty chuffed with that. Again, you can put oils, stuff like that hidden away, tools that I don't use very often up there. And this also fit just within the room of these beams here, and I do have a nice bit of overhead storage there if I need it as well. The other thing I definitely wanted, which is kind of standard equipment in workshops, is like a tool shadow board. So we have one of those. I just need to get some pins, hooks, you know, the deal. Make that really cool for my tools, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. The other really cool thing about this workstation is, just get this out of the way, we have built-in plugs. Now this is actually a slightly updated one, I think. I haven't seen this on Eltec's website. Now they actually did supply me with a different plug arrangement here, but it was a Euro one and I think that was a mistake, so they actually sent this as a replacement, and this is actually quite a decent upgrade, because the other one, if you try to put a plug in this close to a workbench, if it's a bulky plug or if it's got a cable coming down, it's just not going to fit. Whereas this one, these actually come out, these little pugs, and you can actually have that either way up. So if I wanted it standard, I can have it that way, but if I want the cables to go up, or if it's a bulky plug, there I can do that, and now the plug will go up the way and there's no issue with it fouling with the desk, which is awesome. They also do a nice USB one. Now this isn't wired in yet, it does just have a simple plug down here, which I haven't decided whether I'm just going to plug that in. Unfortunately, I didn't actually put any plug sockets behind this because I didn't think it would be necessary. So I'll either have to get an extension cord or get an electrician to wire this in, but we'll cross that bridge again when we get to it. The only other thing which is really cool, which isn't quite working, a bit like the electronics with the plugs, not wired in yet, is we have an LED light underneath here. I've got a couple of cables We've got Ross MacArthur, who is a trained electrician. He's going to come along hopefully later today and get this all wired up. So looking forward to that. But yeah, I'm actually so stoked on this unit. I think this is the perfect size for this garage. Like I said, it's so easy just to put something massive in here, fill up all the space. But at the minute, I've got space for storage on that side. I've got a little space on that side. And I've got plenty of room back to the wall where Fraser is to work on bikes. So yeah, I think this has actually been ideal. So the workbench is a new thing, but there's one other really obvious thing which I'm not sure if you've noticed yet because it's directly above us. We have some weird racking going on. Now this is actually made by my friend Alex Shovlin. You may have seen him on some of my previous videos. He's been in one of the comp videos that I've done. He came all the way over from, well, not quite Newcastle, but actually a bit further than Newcastle to fit this for me because this is a filming rig. Look at this thing. Now, I had so many comments from people who saw a YouTube channel called Inheritance Machining, where that guy made his own camera rig so he could get the camera exactly where he wanted. I wanted something like that for ages, and Alex went above and beyond making this thing for me. So you know when people are welding, they have a pipe they can bring down to get the fumes away. This is an arm from a weld fume extractor. And then yeah, he's just made some rails, and this thing is amazing. We can get it pretty much all the way to the back of the garage. We can get it all the way to the front of the garage. This will go all the way left to right. I can articulate this any way I want, get the camera precisely in position. I can do vertical shooting. I can get this right next to a wall if I want to, with a tripod, because the legs go out. The closer you could get a camera to the wall was about there, which is really annoying. Plus, obviously a camera has tripods and they get in the way, and I always was tripping up over it when I was doing my bike build video. So having this completely free is amazing. The other thing that's really, really cool, but I can now get this directly over my workbench, which I just couldn't do before because obviously the tripod legs would get in the way. So being able to do a vertical shot above the workbench is going to be pretty awesome. But I can get the camera likewise all the way to the back wall there pretty much. So if I'm doing something like a tutorial, I can have the camera actually pointing at me while at the workbench. And once I've got some decent lighting, that'll actually look pretty good. Speaking of lighting, you may have noticed this cable. So this is an addition that we actually just did today before filming. This is an IKEA ring light for like your phone doing selfies, and I wanted to have some better lighting that's always pointing where the camera's pointing. So we've kind of bodged this on. We have had to use a little bit of a zip tie on there. It's not ideal, but we'll iron out some of that stuff later. Now this, drag this back. This cable is obviously going to get in the way, so the idea is this gets tied to that, goes to the top, and I'll have a socket set on the back there with a like telephone cable if you're old school, or a coiled cable if you're new school, and get that plugged into one of these ceiling sockets. That's why I've put ceiling sockets on there. And then once that's all wired in, the cable hopefully won't get in the way, I can have some decent lighting, which is going to be sweet. That should help filming quite a lot, and it means I won't have bulky lights taking up loads of space. So I'm actually pretty stoked on that. It needs a little bit of ironing out, but Alex is an absolute godsend in making this rail system, because there's no way I would have been able to make this. So when I'm doing my bike build videos, hopefully I can get some more interesting shots, and if anything, it'll just be way easier for me to film. So yeah, thanks a lot, Alex, and I hope you guys like this, because I certainly do. Thanks, Alex. Alex. So with these things explained, it is just a waiting game. One thing I'm also waiting on is some flooring. I'm not sure if I mentioned that already, but if you look down here, it's looking a little bit messy already. So one reason why this garage update has been taking so long is because we've been doing a lot of renovations in the house, and this has actually been a bit of a storeroom. The floor over there has paint on it because I've been painting doors that have gone in the house. There's stuff that's been spilt, and I've actually been tinkering with some bikes in here as well, and it's just, yeah, made a little bit of a mess. But That's fine. People were saying it was looking a little bit too clinicky in here. So a bit of dirt gives it a bit of character, and that's one thing I've always said. This place was brand new, still is brand new. It will get messy and it will get more character as time goes on. But to protect it just a little bit, I have ordered a mat to go in front of the workbench just to make it easier to stand, less fatigue. And also where the bikes are, I've ordered a mat to go underneath there, and anything that drips down from them will be caught by that. So it should look a lot nicer and yeah, be a bit kinder to the floor. Speaking of bikes, back here, if you remember, I've got my nice curtain, which is awesome, and we've got my bikes neatly stored up here. Excuse the mess down there, by the way. Oh, don't look at that. So, if you remember, this rail system is by a company called Stashed, and they are now offering 10% off with the code down in the description. If you want to get something like this, if you spend over 200 quid, you'll get 10% off, which is a pretty sweet deal, so don't all rush at once. Right, well, the postman hasn't come yet. There's still plenty for us to do. We've got a big mess here which we need to organise, go through all these tools, figure out where they need to go. So, do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Left with your back, Ali. This is quite an upgrade. If you guys remember, I should have it around. I normally fit headsets with this guy, but as you can see, it's had a bit of a hard life, this thing. So the idea is this is going to be emergency use only. Going to have this mounted on here somewhere as a bit of a Easter egg, bit of a memory on there. And now I can actually fit headsets properly, which I don't know, that might annoy some of you, but I'm looking forward to it. Got some files. Got, what is that? Nice. This is pretty cool because you can take this whole thing out and we just cut a big square in the shadow foam and that can just go in it. Right. I know, alright. It'd take far too long to go through all this and do it individually, so I'm just going to grab these all out. There's some of my older tools in here as well, and some, oh, now that I've got posh bikes, nice suspension service kit. Don't mind it if I do. But however, this is the one. Look at that. Master wheel building kit. Yes. Looking forward to getting that put to use. Now, I have to admit, I have actually had these tools for quite a long time. Sorry, Unior. And I have maybe used a couple of them already in some of the tinkering that I've been doing. So, if some of them look a little bit grubbier than others, you know why. Yeah, I've used that a couple of times. Right, that'll do for that one. We've got a lot to go through here, Fraser. Not that this is going on the workbench or in any of the drawers, but this is a wheel trim stand, which again I've used a couple of times already. Fantastic, absolutely love this thing. I'm just going to stick this on the floor for now though. Right, this is just a random box of tools and stuff. So heat guns, I don't think a heat gun needs to really go in there, so we're just going to go through this. Anything that I think will go in these drawers I'll kind of stick over there, but there might just be a lot of stuff in here that's just completely random. So we'll keep that. And there's actually some Unior stuff in here as well. Helicoil kit, definitely handy. Saw, handy, it's an old faithful. Headset crown race remover, which I have used a few times already. It's so nice to have all my tools in one place and I know where they are. Snap off blades. I actually ordered a pack of 50, so this is a pack of 50 off Amazon like 5 years ago, and I don't know, they made a mistake and ended up sending me 50 packs of 50, and I've still got loads of packs left, which is amazing because when using these to make brake pads, these blunt super quickly. So after 5 years I still have quite a few boxes of those left, so that was one of the best purchases I've ever done. This is really cool. This is actually from Schwalbe. This is a tyre tread cutter. So if you want to modify your tyres, you can use one of those, which I plan on using. Okay, so that stuff to go in there. I wonder if there's anything left over here that needs to go in. So much just random bike stuff here as well. So once we've got the tools sorted, the idea is I'm going to go to IKEA and I actually have this unit here already. This is for keeping toys, and it actually have just drawers, almost like baskets that slide in and out. So the idea is I'll get probably another one of these and just fill the baskets with bike parts and have it all organised. It would be real nice. Okay, so we have some foam. Actually, there was a slight mistake. We ordered a few different sizes and they sent the wrong ones, but we do have enough to work with here and we're getting sent the correct ones, which will be here in a day or so. But until then, we're gonna go and do what we can. And while we were waiting for the foam, we've kind of organized the tools a little bit. So the ones that are on here are gonna go on the backboard, but we've actually gone through all these drawers and kind of put stuff in places that make sense. So we've got a wheel building drawer full of all wheel building stuff. Also got, that's going to be a disc brake bleeding drawer once I get some disc brake bleeding kit. Shock and fork servicing is going to go in there. We need to figure out exactly how it's going to be laid out. We've got sockets in here, commonly used tools in the top bit. That one's kind of already done, so this came as a big pre-made foam piece. This is like a frame bearing kit, so yeah, now that I've got some fancy bikes, if I want to change all the bearings in them, I've got the kit for it. These drawers down here, we've got the headset press. Once I get some more presses and stuff, I can put those in there. Maybe at one point I will get some frame tapping tools, like maybe some bottom bracket taps, facing tools. They can maybe go in that bottom one there. And then over on this side, I've got my Ryobi tools going there. And up here, I figured we could put some oils and stuff. I've also got a blue roll holder, which will go in the back here somewhere. Need to figure that out, but I better keep nice and clean and tidy, so that'd be good. I think the thing that we need to do now, this is the part that Fraser's been really looking forward to, is getting this shadow foam out, putting them in the drawers and cutting the tools out. So should we get on with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think what we should do is make this fit in the drawer without any cuts in it yet. Like as in just take the edges off and then settle the tools in it, draw a wee outline and then cut it. Right.
Right, so let's shove all these back. By the way, making use of the camera rig at the minute. It's pretty sweet.
54.
Nice. Oh, airtight fit. Things might take us a little while, so we'll be right back. Fraser and I have been having a race to see who could get their tray done the quickest, and yeah, Fraser has absolutely kicked my ass. I've got about 7 tools left, whereas Fraser is literally just on the last finger holds. Now, I've taken a few glances over it, it looks pretty pro, but I've not had a good look at it, so once it's done now, take a look and see if it actually fits. Remember which one this goes in.
I think I'm
Good job, dude. Fair play.
It's not bad, is it?
Not bad at all. Got nice little finger holes so we can get those out. Yeah, look at that. So neat.
And look, see with these ones as well. They go down, so I've dug a wee hole in there so you
nice.
Can... Aye.
Fair play, fair play. I'm impressed. You did a good job.
Yeah, I'm quite impressed actually.
Mine is going okay. I think Fraser actually did a better job, but I'm still pretty pleased with mine. Just need a few more tools to go in and then we'll see how mine looks. That took a long time and about 50 blades, but mine is done. What do you reckon? Let's see if it fits. After all that, I'd be gutted if it doesn't. Ooh. Like a glove.
Airtight.
There we go, but does it shut? Oh, it does. To be fair, I was worried this one, with it being so tall, would not shut, but it does just about. Nice. So this is my drawer for headset, bottom brackets, crank pulling, kind of tools that I might use quite often when I'm doing bike builds. Say if I get a frame that needs a headset swap, grab one of these bad boys, can swap that out, not a problem. If I need to fit a bottom bracket, got some bottom bracket tools. If I need to take a crank off, got this guy here, all good. So yeah, I'm actually so pleased with that, that is awesome. Okay, we're still working away and it is starting to get dark. This has taken a long time. Fraser now is gonna just tidy up a little bit because he's just done this really cool drawer here. That is my wheel building drawer and it looks...
I didn't do that bit though.
So that bit came as standard from Unior, but we have added some extra bits, and that's the drawer I've been dreaming of for years. I've been building thousands of wheels and I just can't find bits anywhere. I always have to try and find them, whereas now I know exactly where everything is, and that is so sweet. Once Fraser's had the super enjoyable task of tidying up, he's then going to take this box here and find out whether I bought enough tiles to put underneath the bike area there. So fingers crossed I did. While he's doing that, I'm getting on with kind of the socket and spanners tray, which is getting there and should look really good. It's just tedious, so yeah, I'm going to get on with it. Right, scrap what I just said about Fraser fitting those tiles, because what I thought was in that box isn't what was in that box. It's actually these magnetic shelves, which
Pretty cool.
actually don't really grip very well. That's very disappointing. So I wanted some shelves because this is metal. I can just kind of stick shelves wherever I wanted really. But yeah, they're not particularly strong. They've got these rubber bits on the back which I thought I had to take off, but no, they're glued on. They're meant to be there to stop scratching any paintwork. But yeah, they're just not very strong magnets, which is very disappointing. So not only do I not have any tiles to go underneath the bike yet, I've got some trays that don't really work, which yeah, annoying. But yeah, I'm gonna get on with this anyway, and in the meantime Fraser can still carry on tidying up because I don't want to do it. And then got some hardware that can fit this vise, and I think that'd be a really cool thing to get fitted.
So most of the tools are going to go in the drawers, which is in this foam that Ali's cutting out just now. But the main used ones, like Allen keys and stuff down here, like hammers and saws and stuff that you use quite often, are going to be hung on this pegboard. We got all these wee hooks. I've hung them all up. These ones don't actually fit. These they're meant to be in like 4, but they don't like line up. Only 2 of them can line up, and like it looks like it's in, but it's actually not. Although it would work, it would just look a bit weird. But yeah, anyway, getting there.
I'm tired.
I know. We need to get that mat to stand on, the anti-fatigue mat.
I do have that. Should we get that out?
Yeah.
Right, we need to sweep this up a bit then. Oops.
Oh.
That's better. To be fair, the floor in here is wood, so it's not the worst for standing on. But this might just help a little bit. Plus, if I drop anything, hopefully it'll land and just go in one of these holes rather than landing and then going under there.
That's smart, yeah.
Right, I've got a few more things to do on here. This has been quite a tedious one. This dark little corner.
Right, give us a little demonstration of how you're doing this.
Basically, getting where I want, getting my hand pushing down, making an imprint, and then I can see the circle. And then going around. Close it.
Nice. Those look like some pretty nice pliers. What type are they?
Oh, these are Unior pliers. Okay, I am now on my own. Fraser has actually gone home because, what time is it? It is 8 o'clock at night now. We have been at this for so many hours, since 10 o'clock this morning. Honestly, Fraser's put in so much hard graft. At the minute, things are being left almost finished. We still have a couple more trays to do. That one still needs doing. There's a couple over here that still needs doing. So this is actually going to turn into a two-parter. So this is part one. You're going to have to stay tuned for part two, when hopefully I get this pretty much finished. And then, oh man, I have got so many cool retro bikes to build. I know you guys are going to love them, and I can't wait to actually have a finished space to build them in. So that is something to really look forward to this winter and the cold days, because I've actually got a little heater for here as well. No more ice cold hands when building bikes. That's going to be so nice. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this one. Stay tuned for part two, where yeah, hopefully this will be a finished garage or as close as possible. So hope you all have an amazing week, and I'll catch you next time. So take care. Bye bye.